Are we on? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Microphone check. Lights. Cameras.
This is swanky. This is lifestyle. This is culture. Welcome to the social center of everything culture. Culture Daily.
The background playing that song, it just takes me back, and I'm reliving memories and listening to good music as well, bringing us to 6 minutes past 9 this morning on Culture Daily. I beg your pardon. We are getting into our big conversation this morning, and I must say it's an honor to have him join us in the studio because it's been quite difficult pulling him here because of working hours, time schedules, and everything. But it's an honor to have him join us in the studio. So let me just let's give a round of applause and welcome our own big brother.
Can I clap for myself?
Yes, yeah, thank you. It was on short notice, but you still made it happen. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Yes, yeah, and thank you for all the love and support that you've shown in the shadows. You know, all these years.
As I said earlier, if I comment, they won't like me.
But we're still expecting our very own Daddy Bosco to also join us in this.
Oh, I love Bosco. Daddy B,
yes, he should join us shortly. Andy Dusty, he's not in town, but I've been trying to reach him. I think he's asleep. Time difference, but he said he'll try. If he can only wake up, he'll try and join us in the latter part of the show. But this morning, a very important conversation is sitting before us. I'll share that shortly, but before that, listen, switch to Teletel fixed broadband today and experience incredible bonuses, non-expiry bundles, and data transfers across devices and lots more. Now, also, new customers get 50% upon their, when they sign on to Teletel fixed broadband, and also for existing customers, it's a 300% bonus on every broadband renewal to keep browsing. So subscribe to Teletel fixed broadband for these amazing offers. Dial star 900 hash to use Teletel Play, or use Teletel Play app, or you can also go on their website. It is teletel.com.gh and get connected today. Terms and conditions apply. Teletel, connecting energies. And again, a reminder on Betway's amazing offer and deal for those who love to place those bets, and unfortunately one bet slips out and then messes the entire slip, right? Well, the Bet Saver feature is new and exclusive to Betway, and it can help you get your bets back and more. Terms and conditions apply. It's regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet the responsible way. Betway gets way more. Lenny?
Yes, definitely. And you're going to get way more with your Cleanse Hand Soap as well. It protects you from germs and bacteria. Not only you, but everybody, your friends, your family, everyone who uses it. Cleanse Hand Soap effectively kills 99.9% of germs with every single use, and it's perfect for your hand washing moments throughout the day. It's available in a variety of invigorating variants and very delightful flavors. So whether you want aloe vera, strawberry, vanilla, and honey, antibacterial, or chocolate, Cleanse Hand Soap has got that for you. Make Cleanse your daily essential. Remember to stay clean with Cleanse. The GC brand is all about you. Now we are making Shades of Love all about you as well on the 14th of February, 7 p.m. sharp. You don't want to miss that. It's happening at the Palms Convention Center, La Palm Royal Beach Hotel in La. Okay, you can grab your tickets for yourself, for your loved ones. Just come have a good time, because that is the day that the symphonies of love and high life music will come together in sweet, sweet aroma. Okay, now grab your tickets on star 714 star 2020 hash. Star 714 star 2020 hash. You can also call 0246 466 770 0246 466 770 if you want to reserve a table. If you want to grab your regular tickets, you can do so at 300 cities, VIP 500 and 750 for VVIP. Remember that this is Shades of Love, 14th of February, 7 p.m. sharp. This is powered by Big Ideas and 3 Music TV.
Yes.
All right. Is Daddy Bosco in?
He's outside.
He's outside. Instead of joining us in the conversation, he's doing his pleasantries first. The no formal, order. Please, let's have Daddy Bosco join us live in the studio as well. The big Daddy Bosco. Yeah, man. This one we call old friends meet. Yes.
Hello, sir. You're welcome.
Daddy Bosco.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
Today I've managed to pull people that don't show their face like that.
I mean, for you, I'll do anything.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It is good to have you join us in the studio. Right timing, though. Right. We're just about to get into our conversations, and I mean, it's good to have both of you join us live in the studio. And then, like I keep saying, you're always shadows. You know, you always day back. Right. Yeah, but your pointers are very important.
You don't find us in the right places.
So it's been a conversation on our lips for a while now, and like I shared with you in our earlier conversations, that we've reached a certain point in time where it's as though there's a certain generation of music artists who are hardly spoken of. But they are there for many reasons. Some have ventured into other businesses. Some of them have, they are still into music, but even when they release new music, in as much as they try very hard to still get it to the, to be on our radios and our TVs and our devices, it's still left in the dark. Some of them, too, media hasn't been too fair in still keeping their music alive. Earlier on, we're just having a conversation about a time and space where a researcher, did some research on one of the media houses in Ghana and was saying that realized that after breaking new music, that we leave the song to die so quickly and we move on to the next, either because we are blessed with so many artists to explore, so we don't even have time to still consume and enjoy some real good classics. Now, this has left a certain generation of artists in a certain time frame, and they are stuck in there. And again, I may mention names, but not to say that these it's just to give an idea of which generation we speak of. So you're talking, the likes of the Tinies, you're talking the likes of the 4X4s. I know they have been in a space of we are together, we're not together, we are coming, we're not coming. It's been a bit confusing. We've even had the likes of Miss Bell perform at Afro Nation in about 2-3 years ago. An article came about where I think Abeku Santana mentioned retired artists. He had to retract his words because they were not retired. She said, they are still very active in the business. They may not.
And we had this conversation sometime back with what's his name, Hammer.
With Hammer,
myself, Hammer, online here.
Yes. Yes.
You remember?
Yes.
That was last year.
Even producers, as you've mentioned, Hammer, for example. There are some producers, Zap Mallet and I'm sure they are still producing music. Maybe. I can't speak for them. But they live in a certain unspoken space. We hardly recognize them as legends in award ceremonies. At the same time, we don't speak of them now. So they're in a certain dark time in music history. If we play their songs now, they are seen as old school music. Not even old school music. They are throwback. Throwback. And when we say old school, then you're going into, maybe if it's for Ghana, you're talking high life, you're playing some early J Double Ambule. That is old school music. But we reference these artists that are still legends of their time, as we ghost them. Now, there are 3 different parties, like I mentioned, I wanted to look at. Is it a media conversation that hasn't taken on that responsibility of still keeping music alive? Because it translates into their career, so that we know that, okay, it is our mandate as maybe 3 Music or as X station or that station to still be playing these songs, because we have generations that still listen to these songs. Like Nia was firing me saying that if we don't play old school music, a very hard answer to give, because then you have target markets, you have target groups. But again, good question, because it is our responsibility to keep certain memories, cherished memories. So is it media, or is it the artists that have been forced into various other careers, because money they come again? Or is it who was the third place I even gave them? But anyway, we can look at these two whilst I just try and bring my mind to the third one. Why and where have we left these? I beg to use the word legends. Legends is even taking them too far away. So they're not too far away. They're just a few years behind, But where have we positioned them? Where have we placed them? Their own fault, our own doing as, media industry stakeholders, or the consumers. Consumer taste has changed so rapidly that there seems to be no interest in what products that they churn out. we love Samini as a performer, as a performer any day. I think because of school and a few other things, his releases. Recently, I saw his page that he's been active on new music coming and all of that. But will it still catch the same fire as we know our Samini to be, for example? And that's truth be told. And it goes on and on. So I leave that table open for us to just get into to understand, have we left these legends in a dark space? And who is to blame if that statement is true?
Okay, so good morning, and thank you very much for making me come here. I like to say my kids enjoy your show a lot.
Oh, thank you.
And thank you for all the support you've been giving to our Claire.
Yeah, as always.
Always.
What it is I like how you laid it out, trying to look at whether the media had a role to play or whether the artists themselves. Let me start from the media. I think the media is too narrow these days.
Narrow, break it down.
Yeah. I like what you spoke about, what you said about target market and all that. But I think when you listen to radio these days, it's pretty much monotonous. You don't hear depth. Do you understand? Media or radio is supposed to educate, entertain, and inform. You like this, you can take the young people down memory lane in a very interesting way. And I think that's what the media needs to do.
But do you blame the media for that? Considering the competitive platform ecosystem that we are in now, people
Pause. Let me ask you, what's your international media network in terms of TV?
Sorry, I beg to understand the question again.
Okay, so I'm a news person. My wife, she's a market woman, but I can tell you a favorite TV channel when it comes to international news.
So me, personally?
Yeah.
International
TV
news. Al Jazeera.
Good.
Okay.
Al Jazeera, they do loads of documentaries.
Yes. That's why
I
like
not
those
like
things.
Today News.
Yes.
So they have you, and you go there, but they don't only give you today news. They take you down history.
Yes.
They take you into the background, why Syria is where it is today.
Now, Bosco, can I shake your hand? Thank you.
Today's his birthday, I heard.
No, 31st.
31st.
Yeah.
Okay.
Today's my wife's birthday.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Oh,
happy
okay.
birthday
So
to
now,
her then.
more blessings. But for me, that's what I think the media can do, and you keep those guys relevant. Andy started doing something on hits. I think he called it the library or something.
On Joy.
Yeah, the library or something like that.
Great show.
Stuff like that. So I'm challenging you to do that. Remember that tourism thing you used to do?
Yes.
You can take those concepts and look into the genesis of Afrobeats. Because people talk Afrobeats, but first, I remember when I was hearing Whiskey, he was hanging out with Samini Dem, R2B's Dems, and then they've taken it and then gone. So you can look at that road, and it will make people realize that guys like Samini are like icons now. And so then we look at them in a certain light. They release music and we handle it a certain way.
But Daddy Bosco, let me ask this, and then so I do understand and I accept that the media can start the conversation, the narrative, but also I mentioned a third force, which is the consumers, whom today and
Pause.
Okay, if you see,
I'm going to tell you a story about Sonny and the Walkman. Remember when we were kids growing up, the sound had to be big, bass, everything like that.
Yes.
And this Japanese guy said, look, the consumer doesn't really know what they want. I'm going to give them Walkman. And that led to music with earphones. Today,
Can I
it's
shake
a
your
whole
hand again?
generation.
I will shake your hand. In fact, the topic
There'll be too many handshakes today.
I won't say anything.
You understand?
Okay.
So you guys have the ability, you have the vision, why did Steve Jobs do all the things he did? He realized that the consumer all the consumer wants is a certain quality and a certain feeling. So you give it to them, so we can tailor the consumer's preferences and tastes a certain way. Do you understand?
Okay, let me get your take on this. I know you've said you've agreed, you're in agreement, but still centered on the media, and our role play in creating a surviving story for some of these, these artists. I still beg to differ on the fact that, the competitive nature of the ecosystem sometimes does not give you the opportunity to do that. For example, I mean, if you look at the frequency of releases of new music and the consumer's taste, for example, we are dealing with 15 to 35 years, and they are championing even now. They are championing
the age range again.
15 to 35 years.
Okay.
But, if you narrow it down, you're talking about 18 to your 28, 27 there, plus the gray areas. These people are dictating, using other platforms aside traditional media to tell what they want to hear. So somebody, maybe Thames, for example, has released a brand new music, and it's all over on socials, on TikTok, and it's not on your channel.
Okay.
And you look at your clock, your time clock.
Okay.
How much you might commit time to do one of these, throwbacks, but how much time really can you use to impact that space to the point that these ghosted artists still get that recognition that they need?
Okay. Before I answer your question,
Yes.
to add to what Daddy Bosco said, what's the difference between an iPhone 12 and an iPhone 16?
The numbers.
I like your answer, but in terms of functionality, nothing. You understand? So it's like you are sampling an old phone and making a new one. And we're talking about sampling before. Anyway, so you have a radio station. They are looking at numbers.
Okay, so this is if the responsibility is on the media.
You are talking,
okay.
yes. So
Right,
I'm using radio. Okay. I don't know how TV works in general, so I'm not going to speak about TV, but I have worked in a radio station for a very long time. The radio wants money. Who has the money? Is it the 15-year-old?
No.
Yeah. The parents, the
28-year-old?
some.
No.
Some in our space.
So you understand where I'm going. So it's people like myself, yourself, Daddy Bosco, who have been working for ages, not, let's say, a certain number of years, maybe 5, 6 years. They are looking at us. What kind of music do we like? We like stuff that we were forced to listen to. Because when Daddy Bosco was born, when I was born in the 70s, he was born in the 60s, if I am right. We were forced to listen to a certain kind of music. You understand? We knew, or we know what instruments are. We know how music was put together. We know how sampling started. Then music changed along the years. We've listened to all kinds of music. We know that what is being produced today isn't our kind. It's not the right kind of music. Some are. I'm not saying some aren't. Some are. The rest, not to me. So if I'm going to play or run a radio station, I will run it in such a way that I'm going to tell you how it started and how it ended up here. My mother likes to go to parties. Yes, if she's invited, she'll go. She'll dance to her old tunes, all right. And once in a while, she'll come and say, play Buga for me. Because that's one of her favorite
Yes.
new songs.
Agreed.
But she won't say don't play Lionel Richie or don't play Earth, Wind and Fire because that's what she really, really likes. You don't like Lionel Richie. You don't like Earth, Wind and Fire. When I look at your face.
Oh, I do.
Because,
I do.
Because I remember
I do.
there was a day.
In fact, I use it for a lot of commercials for DJ Blue. So.
Because I remember there was a day when we were at Volta Hall and I played some song, and he walked up to me and he said, "I never knew you could play new music." I just looked at him. I said,
I mean, because you've branded yourself well with,
but that's the thing.
Yeah.
So you need to look at things the way they are. If I'm going to play music from, and we're talking about the way my daughter likes music from South Korea. So if I'm a programs manager or director and I say, play music from South Korea, who understands what they are saying?
I get you.
Who come and advertise and say, okay, because you are playing South Korean music, let's come and advertise on your show. Who understands what they are saying? If you're playing stuff that people like, then yes. But then again, as Bosco said, who really controls what people want? It's the media. it's the people who are in charge, not those
Aren't
at
the
the bottom.
consumers taking charge of this space?
I can-
That's because you see, there's been a jump. For example, now you probably would have a Jeduble, Ambule, and what's it?
Hold on.
What's his name?
What's his
Amachi Dede.
Amachi Dede.
You are having new this generation.
Can I ask you a question?
To an Amachi Dede.
Can I ask you a
Yes.
question?
Yeah.
When was the last time Amachi Dede released a song?
I can't remember.
Fantastic.
Yes.
The last song he released was in the 90s.
Yes.
True or false?
True.
When was the last time Jedu Bliambule released a song?
It's been ages.
In the 90s.
Yes.
And these two are traveling
Around the
worldwide,
world. Yes.
playing music for young people.
Yes. Yes.
What's the point of your argument?
So I'm asking that the generation after them are caught in a certain ghost town, in a certain ghost space, in a certain dark shadow where you it's hard to tell where they are. But we've been having countless conversations about protecting Ghanaian music, for example. But these people, during that era, protected the Ghanaian music. I mean, up until look at how I was so excited when I heard Tony Tetula and Tic Tac.
Yeah.
And we felt the dominance of, it wasn't the other way around. We found the dominance of Tic Tac over Tony Tetula. It's like I've opened the gateway small for you to enter my town and extend
Where were the songs sampled from?
No, I mean, I don't know, but the thing is that these artists of that time, the Tic Tacs and Co, protected a certain space. But now it seems as though we hardly speak about them. Hence the reason why I'm asking, what has happened to that age and time of
I don't
Ghanaian
think so.
music?
I don't think so. Look, I believe that there are radio stations in Ghana that still play songs from Tic
They
Tac,
do.
all those.
But I can
people.
tell you, I haven't heard a Tic Tac song, for example, on. and
Or
then
they'll
we-
leave it as a throwback.
Back, exactly.
Or an old, quote unquote, old song.
Yes, because that probably is the policy of the radio station, or if you're a TV station, that's the policy of the TV station. Let us get more viewers. Okay, so we are looking at it, or if we can decide, or if I can say, we're looking at it from viewership and where the advertisers are coming from. Okay, so if I'm playing new songs and I'm getting 2 million viewers a day, and I can convince an advertiser that I'm getting 2 million viewers a day, then I can tell the advertiser that, you know what, your products will get 2 million viewers a day.
Understood. Taken. Okay. Could y'all come
So
to yes?
if you pay 10,000 cedis per day, this is how many people will see your product.
Agreed.
As to whether they buy it or not, that one is none of my business.
Yes, exactly.
Bosco be
That's
married.
right.
Good. So for me, the radio, the TV station, since this is TV, I'm getting my money.
Does this apply, or is this happening in reggae artist space? Could you come to you in a bit?
Yes and no. Why do I say yes and no? So Black Rasta has been a reggae artist for years.
And
still
dominates.
He's not in the awards thing. And he's still doing his shows. He's bringing Dwayne Stevenson, Kenyatta Hill, and George Nooks to do a show on 8th of March. These are, for instance, George Nooks is like, he's been there for years. He does reggae, gospel classics and things like that. Dwayne Stevenson has a song that is, I think, pretty timeless. Bola used to play it when he was on Joy. That's like 10 or so years ago. So the reggae artists have a way of remaining relevant because there's a demand for good reggae music and the classics. I think last year, Max Romeo was playing Uptown Babies Don't Cry, They Don't Know We're Suffering. I heard this song in 1977 as a teenager, and he's rocking it in Rotterdam. So for them, they have a way of staying relevant because there's a market for them. Here in Ghana, some of the reggae artists, let me start from Rocky Daouni. Rocky was playing when I was playing band. That was like, what, 80s matter, 90s matter. He's still playing. He's still going for Grammys. Fred is also playing on the Kente guys. They're playing on the, the Black Rasta show. So the reggae...
See, their community is able to sustain them.
A certain way.
Yes.
Not the way we would want it, but, they still...
What is the
bubble.
differentiator? Why are they able to do theirs easier than when it comes to maybe secular, that is the hip-hop, rap, Afrobeats, and all of those?
Oh, I think it's simple because a shashamali is always a shashamali. You know what you're going to get. You know the level of consciousness you're going to get. If Samina Nupesa of Roots and Abu decides to do a show today, we know what we're going to get. You know what I mean? If Felix Bell decides to do a show today, we know what we'll get. Simple Mankante, General Marcos, all these guys, we know what we're getting.
Does it mean that
the message?
Does it mean that the depth of or the substance of the music of yesterday, a bit of yesterday, which I mentioned these ghost artists, and today isn't strong enough to sustain? Give them that. We don't have.
No, that one it's the media. And while y'all were talking, I remembered Gabi. You remember Gabi's playing policy? Gabi had a policy of play where in every 15 minutes you'll get everything. He'll play you a golden oldie. You play you a brand new, you play you a recurrent. So in every 15 minutes of listening to Gabi Ajete, and I try to get some of the guys to play like that. They call it Bosco policy. I said, no, that's the way you keep the music relevant. You could always play a Lord Kenya driver any day, in any mix. And look, Kenya can fit into. You can play Thames award-winning song, Love You Jeje, and throw a Kenya right after that, and go into a kiddie. For me, I think it's the skill and versatility. That's why I started by saying we're too narrow. We're too narrow. And these days, the boys, what they do is they play beats, and they say, Charlie, the beat. So if it's
25
BPM, then
it has to be like that.
We have to, Charlie, why do people do haute couture and they do designer? You know what I mean? We have to be a bit more creative as media.
He's Gen Z, late Gen Z. I want to hear from you and your take.
I'm late Gen Z, and I want to contribute. Even as a media person, I want to just speak on the role that the media. I mean, I think that this subject has a complex nature. It's not only the media that plays a role in it, but also from the point or from the side of the media, I think that we also have people in there who are not students of the game or do not understand the culture. They do not go back in time, or they do not even have love for the thing, like passion for music. I have a passion for music. I make sure that I go back to listen to old music every now and then, because I grew up on different genres of music. So once the person has an understanding of the fact that you need to understand where you've come from to know where you're going, then they will put in that effort to make sure that other people are educated on music and the history of music, because it's the history of music that contributes to contemporary music. Because today we have a lot of artists who are sampling music from back in the day. They are not making any new music. They are only. We have what's the name of this Nigerian?
So are we saying that the era has moved quicker than these ghosted artists I talk about?
No.
That's not what
I
I'm
want
saying.
to say. I can't say on air.
No, or will it rather be that we move past them, probably also because they were unable to catch up with the digital streaming platforms
Some
as
of
well,
them,
because
as an old artist.
because there's that.
I doubt.
You don't think that's
there's
the
some
case?
of
I
them
doubt.
there's some of them who have actually had problems maneuvering the new way of doing things. Like the digital
even
age.
uploading.
Some of them have actually fallen into that category where based on conversation.
Can you explain that?
Based
please?
on conversation. So the new way of doing putting out music. First, we used to put music on CDs and cassettes and then just put them out there. And then you have to get. I remember back.
Oh,
in
do
the
you think they are not that savvy?
No, that's not what I'm
No, he's
saying.
not talking
That's
about
not
the
what I'm
cassettes
saying.
and the CDs. He's talking
That's what I'm
about
saying.
moving from that era
Exactly.
to
I
now
think
the YouTubes and the.
we had a
distribution
conversation here
platforms.
with.
I
I
doubt.
don't remember.
I
I don't
disagree.
remember
Okay,
who it
let me
was.
make the point.
Yeah.
I don't remember
But
who
I
it was, but we
disagree.
had a conversation here where he mentioned that back in the day when Kaki and the rest had recorded music, they would wait for someone to buy or play shows.
Well, Kaki is a bit recent, but I know the area you're talking about.
I'm just using that as an example.
Okay.
Play shows and then do all of that to make their money. But now there's streaming, there's publishing, there's mechanical rights, there's all those things. And some of them, based on conversations that we've had with certain people, have not been able to maneuver these new things. They can't wrap their minds around these new concepts. So, and they also do not have, or maybe for the lack of association, do not have people who would educate them on how to maneuver these new concepts when it comes to the music.
Is that the case?
And it's not that for everyone.
Yeah,
I'm just saying it's for some people. You know. So
Can you
that's
name one
also
person?
we had a conversation.
Okay,
Then it makes it.
Let me help you with this question. Let me help you. Daddy Bosco, okay, you have come from generations. And you understand the terrain now. Do you have when you mentioned Aclair, for example, do you have that that pushback on to you on how things used to be to how things are when you look at your daughter in a new era? You coming from a certain generation, how things were. Do you have certain pushbacks like that you can't unspoken of? I think that's where he's
no.
touching.
So I may be a different animal because of what I do, and I'm a constant learner. Every day I'm learning something new. So, but the point here is you're talking of artists who have catalogs.
Yes.
Let's look at Lord Kenya, for example. He has a catalog.
Mm-hmm.
So Kenya now, and he's an evangelist, perfect case. But he has music that speaks to us, speaks to nearly every situation in our life. He may not want to put his music there, but we who are in the business, what is our responsibility? I like where my brother spoke about the history of the music and how we put it out. So we need to be clear in this discussion. So we're looking at people who have catalogs, who are not quote and unquote practicing today. That's one category. Then you have people like the Tic Tacs. They have catalog. They're still playing. They're still releasing new music and things. They may not have that desire to maybe go all out like what you call it, a Eugene or somebody may be doing.
Yes.
Does it mean that we still have to put them in a certain category and not play their music? I'm dwelling on the need to play the music. Do you understand? So if we, the radio, the TV, we're not playing the music, then how are we helping our industry, our Ghanaian music industry? So let's not expect them too much to be doing all these new fun.
Okay, so let me ask, whose responsibility would it be to keep these songs alive?
It's you
Classics.
guys.
No, I mean, media.
the media.
Whose real responsibility?
Okay, pause. Let me.
Because you mentioned Kenya, for example.
Okay, let me say something.
Yes.
I've been very interested in the work of this guy, the guitarist Jimi Hendrix, of late.
Okay.
And when you go online, there's so many stuff. Young people, kids, are putting on Jimi Hendrix. Do you understand? So, for instance, there's this debate: who is the greatest rapper of all time? Kids should be putting on videos pushing this conversation.
Let me raise my hand here.
Okay.
You see, I believe it is everybody's responsibility.
Thank you.
What Bosco just said.
Yeah.
When I was in secondary school,
Yes.
at least between 89, Form 1 to Form 3, 89 and 1992, we were being taught music in school.
Thank you.
I don't think it happens anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't followed that.
You understand?
Maybe
So-
the universities.
Well, yes.
Some
Too
universities.
late in the
Too
day.
late in your life. So 2 instruments that I learned were the atenteben and the piano.
Yes.
A lot of kids don't know how to learn that for technically free in school. They have to learn at home. So parents have to now go and buy all these.
Yes.
Now, if the consumer doesn't want this from a radio station, the radio station, number one, won't play it. Number two,
Yes.
the record
I like that
labels
statement. If the consumer doesn't want this from the media house, the media house won't play.
it.
Good. Yes.
The
Sorry.
media house won't play certain things depending on and per TV,
Yes.
viewership, per radio, listenership,
Yes.
in order to bring advertisers in
To survive.
to make money.
Yes.
Now, the
I
record
like this
labels,
analysis, yes.
the record labels are also moving around to make money, based on what they want people to listen to. So they feel Jay Foley is a good singer. Let's get Daddy Bosco because he plays the very good bass guitar.
Yes.
Let's get you because you're a good drummer. Let's get me because I'm the best lead guitarist. You are a very good backup singer. And then let's produce a song or let's do a song or something. So it's
a lot of things, a ripple effect of a lot of activities.
Exactly.
That pushes them. And if this continues, shouldn't we be worried that we'll
we can't be worried. And I'll tell you why.
Where even the artists of today, I even fear what we'll be calling them.
No, let me tell you why we can't be worried.
It's a few years to come.
20 years from now, Kiddy will be an old school artist. Case closed.
Yes, and I know that was an underlining conversation.
It's because of the years.
Yes, that one,
right? But there's also the concept of microwave music or fast food music, as we refer to it, even to the point where now New Music Fridays is a thing, right?
Yes.
Every Friday you have a pool of new music streaming in. This is to both Daddy Bosco and Tini. Do you think it's because of the plethora of songs that we have coming in all the time? That's what's making it easy for us to just move on to another song really, really fast and just push all these other songs.
I'm not going to speak on behalf of Daddy Bosco, but I know that Bosco used to be programs manager before.
Yes.
I know him. Before you technically go and play any song on air, there has to be a discussion per radio standards back in the day. I don't know about now. If the song is crap, it's crap, and it's never going to be played on air. It's as simple as that. And I can tell you for a fact, being a DJ and from somebody who has listened to music from the first day I was born in 1977. 95% of the new music that you play is crap.
Ish.
I'm sorry to say that.
I know, right?
No, I'm sorry to say that. Look, if you take a Jay-Z album, there are 17 songs on the Jay-Z. I'm sorry I'm mentioning Jay-Z. It's not limited to him.
Yes.
There are 17 songs on the album. 4 in the charts. The rest are crap. And the record labels will push those 4 for you to go and buy the album. You see how it works?
Yeah.
By the time you listen to those 4 songs, you end up loving the album. The next time Jay-Z releases an album, before they even release those 4 tracks or 5 tracks that are banging, you already bought the album. You understand? But unfortunately for our young people today, they don't buy albums. They only listen to, this one they be, case closed. This one they be, case closed. So from where I sit, if I'm playing a song, I look into the crowd and I realize that they are young people. You let me stay on this line. Otherwise,
trouble.
Happens at that point in time, you being a contributor to the conversation where I'm talking about that we end up ghosting a certain league of artists because now the consumers are dictating.
Yes,
dictating.
But hold on. So on Friday evening, last week Friday, the 37 Military Hospital, they had a dinner dance at the officers' mess. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I played the old school music for the most senior officers there. Even the young people came to dance. Then one officer approached me and said, okay, Charlie, the old school people, they are going. Now play the young people's songs. I said, okay. Then I started. Then I went on and played Obrafour and all those. And small boys and small girls, sorry I'm saying that, but they were also dancing. So is it because everybody else was dancing, were they forced to dance, or they really wanted to dance? Sometimes it may be the atmosphere. You understand? But when it comes to radio, you don't know who is listening or not, unless at the end of the month they bring you, what do they call it?
A report.
That at the time you were playing, 17,000 people were listening to you.
Since you raised the conversation about microwave music and the quality of music, then let me use the rest of the time to also now look at the songs of today. You know, I deliberately got the two of you because of, I mean, when it comes to your background and when it comes to media landscape, it's huge. Your library, I'm sure if I lay my hands on your hard drive.
Let me mention one artist name, Megan Thee Stallion.
Yes.
Nee, don't do that. Don't do that.
I actually agree.
Don't do that.
You agree?
Yeah,
That her music is crap.
I don't listen to
Come on.
music.
Is it because of the music or it's because you don't like the personality?
It's
No,
not,
it's not the
nothing to do with her
personality.
person, and we have these conversations all
Come
the time
on.
over here. That there's so many Megan Thee Stallion, and
going to add
the
more.
guys in the studio, you guys in the MCR, you know what I'm talking about.
Sexy Red.
Why are you
See, I
listening?
just knew
Why
that
are
day
you
was gonna
listening to
come.
Sexy? Why are we listening to Sexy Red? Why are we listening to Trippy Red? Why are we listening to Megan Thee Stallion? Why are we listening to?
you see-
there's a bunch of people that I honestly think that I don't know. I really don't know. I think we have a problem. That's what I.
But also, I think that it depends on the consumer, right? Because everybody has preferences as to what they want to listen to. Some people will
Yeah,
listen
but the media
to
is
the music.
feeding them. I mean,
No,
we
but
said
some
that.
people will listen to the music because of the depth in it, right? Some people will just listen to music
Megan
because
Thee Stallion has
no,
depth?
I'm not saying Megan Thee Stallion
Really?
music. I'm just saying I'm not making reference.
You go with the
to
Gen
Megan Thee
Zs in
Stallion's
the
music.
room, wake
I'm
up to
saying
that one don't concern
I'm
me.
saying that people listen to music for different reasons. Some for motivation, some for the depth in it. Some want to just dance, some want to just vibe, some want to just catch cruise, right? So everybody will listen to whoever they want to listen to. I'm saying it to answer his question when he's, or to say his statement when he says that we have a problem.
Yes,
I'm
you
only
do.
saying that people will listen to
Not
what they
you,
want
but-
to listen to. I get it.
Yes.
People will listen to what they want to listen to.
Yeah.
Again, I don't think that the media feeds these people, especially those who are big on listening to Sexy Red and Megan Thee Stallion. I don't think the media feeds it to them because now everybody is open to these songs when it's released. It's not that time where you have to go and buy a CD or a cassette to be able to listen to the music. Now it's on their phones, it's on social media. You can just easily get onto it when the person uploads and says that I have a new song. Then you can just go and listen to it. Do you understand? So I think it's just preferential.
So if I were programs manager, there are some songs I won't allow here. Listen to them in your house.
Are you speaking about theme music?
No. Because we are here, that's why I'm speaking in general.
Okay.
I'm speaking in general.
Okay.
I won't allow them here. Listen to them in your house.
At home.
I also think that it has to do with label like business models these days. They are more geared or skewed towards what's it called, fresh music, fresh talent, what they call fresh talent, and then making, because that's what's going to bring them money. And they pump a lot of resources into promoting these artists, like do the most what's it called, covert means, like, you know, they would use TikToks and they would use all these things, pay people money to do dance challenges and stuff. So you think that people are listening to this Sexy Red and all those things by their own volition, but it's not, because it's being
Let me
pushed.
hold brief.
Yes,
Let me
it
hold
is.
brief for the new generation for a second and flip the script. In football, for example, we will take the best and most experienced international players, you know, to come and play for us. People have argued that let's use the local players, but at the end of the day, when it gets the real deal, I mean, you want to bring your, you know, your Abelipele juniors in there, and you want to bring this, because you understand they have experience. And I do believe that in the world of music as well, that could also be something to look at. Is it that the wealth of experience that we expected some of these ghosted artists to have, to be able to recreate new music, to keep their music depth and substance that they once brought to us alive, isn't there any longer?
What I'll say is there shouldn't be too much pressure for people to keep creating new music. That's why we have classics. You know,
Agreed.
what I'm saying is that your initial premise was that there seems to be a sidelining of them. And so for me, and that's why I'll go back to people with catalogs, there shouldn't be a pressure. And Nee said Amachi did it. There's no pressure on Amachi to release any new music. He knows that at the right or during the right seasons, he will get his hits.
How did he slip through the market to become one of the hottest old school throwback artists that we
you
have?
see, life is about nostalgia. So you want to relive certain memories and things like that. And so the classics are songs that speak about love. They speak about true life experiences. They speak to you. So anytime you hear the song, it takes you back to a certain space.
Yes, but
in
a
time.
generation born in somebody born in 2005 or 2006, and Akodareswa is,
No.
before he or she started grasping new music, correct music.
So let me say
I wonder
this.
how some songs just slip through so beautifully.
Maybe because of their parents as well, because there's that possibility, or maybe their
Agreed.
grandparents,
The music that you
where
grow up on.
yes,
Yeah.
the person keeps listening or keeps hearing it from the home, and
then
so
parents
they
have
are
done a
used to
very
that.
job because
not just that, because people hear music in town. So people go places and they hear a certain song and a certain lyric appeals to them, and they tend to like it. That's why I'm saying that. Look, so there are certain songs today which will last forever, and they're by young people.
yes,
There's a certain song by Famille. You see, he has a song with horns, Okara and Lala. These are songs that on any given day,
Yes.
There's a song by, I think, OJ or something, that very philosophical song. These are songs that will speak to you.
Yes.
10 years' time, OJ might not be playing music, but these songs will be played. And that's why I'm appealing to the media. Charlie, open up, beat the Al Jazeera. You understand? Beat Al Jazeera. So, free music, this is our remit, this is what we're doing.
That Bosco, as much as I agree with you, I also agree with her. I mean, human beings are different. There are people who don't like music, irrespective of
Which
whatever
genre,
you play.
Yeah.
They don't like it.
Sure.
If I tell people that there are times when Luciano Pavarotti was still alive, I listened to him. Everybody's like, you?
who is he? Maybe know who is he?
he?
I know I've mentioned that name here before. Then
And people are like, you? And I'm like, yeah, I have his songs. And they said, no, not
So, you know something? You said something about growing up and learning musical instruments.
Yes.
Music appreciation is something.
Yeah.
If Ghana want to move as a nation, when people appreciate arts, the outlook is different. And that's one of the things music we're fighting for, the reintroduction of music education in basic schools. Music education or educationists will tell you that there's a certain pedagogical value
When it comes to that.
to a young person for learning musical instruments. Research has been done to prove that kids who know or learn how to play piano are better at mathematics and other things. Do you understand? So there's a certain benefit for us as a nation to refocus on music. Professor Linus Abraham used to be the dean of NAFTI. He tells us that, look, you know why Ghana music, your music, they go, they play cottage music. Your music is so basic. It's so basic. It's so do-fa, so it's so basic. There's no color, because the person hasn't learned music, doesn't have the fundamentals. So all they do is, but you see, I'll show you, listen to the music of Osibisa. Because these guys learned music. Nkrumah gave them, he gave Teddy a scholarship to go to UK to learn music. So listen to the music. Listen to Fela. Fela, he learned music.
saxophone.
So when you're writing, you have a certain... Third World, when they were playing, they used to borrow Mozart's phrases and put it in their music. Because they all learned music. There's this guy, Chronix. People don't know. Chronix is a graduate of... I've forgotten the name of the school. It's like the School of Performing Arts in Jamaica. All the Zinc Fence boys, they all graduated from that school. So when they're playing, it's different. And so if we get into that, Bessa Simons, Bessa is a graduate of the Academy of Music, Papa Yansing, all of them, they learned music. So when they're writing, they can write an album that is full of variety. It's not always do fa so. Do you understand?
how do you feel? Okay, go
So
ahead.
you understand why 95% of our music
so
is
how do you
No, I
feel?
get that. I totally get that, Sni. I understand. But won't you also say that maybe the motivation for people becoming artists or musicians is probably wrong? Because now maybe for the new crop of artists or the new generation, they've seen the old crop of artists, or maybe the semi-old crop, which will be the Lord Kenyas, the Obrafour, the
Obrafour.
Obrafour, the Achiame, I meant. all these people, right? And then now we come into the Asem, Kwakese, Sarkodie. Don't you think that these new crop of artists have seen these people that they've looked up to live a certain kind of life, that they think that maybe music is that easy way for them to also live that kind of life? Maybe the motivation is wrong, and so that's why they wouldn't want to study music to be who they need to be.
From the little I know, in Ghana, music has not necessarily been very lucrative.
That's right.
You understand?
No, I get that. On ground, we know it's not lucrative, but what we see,
yes,
you know.
Let me finish. When you go to the United States of America, it's not really lucrative either, in the sense that you may be paid $10 million and you are told, make 10 albums. If you don't make 10 albums, you actually owe the music company.
It's a loan.
You understand?
Yes.
And I'll give you one guy's story. Prince. He passed away a few years ago.
Yeah.
Good. He was supposed to make, I think, 5 or 6 albums for a particular reggae music company. And he did 3. Then he started making his own album. And the record company came to him and said, read your contract very well.
The songs are ours.
So the songs you are making now belong to us. So the next 3 albums that he did to close that contract were rubbish. He said, okay, I've made 3 albums for you. Take up. You understand?
Yeah.
So you need to read your contracts well, number 1. Number 2, I heard or I read somewhere that Chris Brown passed a comment to, what's his name? I think Davido, that all the cars you own belong to you. They live on credit, not us. You understand where I'm coming from?
I get
so don't look at the lifestyle that somebody
Foreigners, yeah.
lives. Build your own. If you say, I can't go into music because maybe Obrafo didn't have money or he didn't drive a Bentley or something, if you want to do it, go ahead and do it. But if you're going to sign a contract, read it.
Check it well.
Get a lawyer. Let him read it to you.
So
let him explain everything to you.
So it looks like, after saying that some of these legends have had certain music backgrounds, it looks like we are now living off what would be the best?
Past glory?
No, we are living off vibes, just in motivation. A lot of the artists now, it's just gift. It's not a music background per se. It's just a skill and gift they have that they are creating, some of the songs. And unfortunately, some of the artists are not getting their songs to be able to last that long for us to enjoy it. Just after a while, it's dead and gone. And we've seen a lot of these songs now. But I'm tempted to ask that, should that even be a worry for us? Because it looks like there'll always be new music, and then the more new songs come, it looks like some of these iconic legends that we have, unfortunately, will become, will turn into salt and or statues, and just be there. And yes, we will just only see them as memories.
How many albums does Mena Boy have?
How many albums? I know
6.
6.
Yeah.
Okay. How many albums does Davido have?
I honestly have no idea.
How many does Wizkid have?
Maybe they'll all be around the same.
Is around 6 as well.
Okay. How many albums do our new Ghanaian artists have?
No. Singles and singles and
Do you understand where I'm coming from? Or do you know where I'm? You see, I think I've told that Bosco knows this. The fundamentals are very important.
When the fundamentals are weak.
You understand me?
Me and Daddy Bosco, and everybody else.
Before we wrap up,
we've had conversations here where some people have said that the energy, the time, the money it takes to make an album is quite much. So that is why they'd rather opt for the singles and the EPs. Is that not valid reason enough?
No, that's not valid. You know why? These days, I think to create good music is not as expensive as it used to be. Because apart from using technology, there are people who would want to play if they think your album is going to go somewhere. Yeah. They'll play, and then rather than taking money up front, they'll take a split in the royalties. So it shouldn't be too difficult for people to do albums, because albums is what will give you that depth, and albums will allow you to express yourself. Music is pretty formulaic. Like Nee says, Jay-Z does 17 songs and 4 is big hit, but the 13 songs creep on you through your listening,
as you listen to the album,
and they allow the artist to express
Yep.
themselves well. So I'll encourage the young crop of musicians to do albums. Maybe not every year, but every other year through an album.
I also just want to add to that, because I love listening to albums. I don't listen. Everyone who knows me when it comes to music, I listen to albums because I think it also gives you an idea of who the artist is, you know, and what they're about.
That's
if you
fair.
listen to a single, it's just something,
That's
you know.
it.
Yeah, but if you listen to an album, but it's a body of work. It gives you like detail,
Better idea of the
better
direction of the
idea.
artist.
Yeah.
and-
But
I
another
agree.
thing I wanted
Yeah.
to add, another thing I wanted to add, I think that we omitted, is the fact that we don't have institutional support here in Ghana when it comes to the music. You know, the NCC is there, but what really are they doing comprehensively? Institutional support.
From
Like
who?
you mentioned Jimi Hendrix. You mentioned Jimi Hendrix, right? Now people like Jimi Hendrix are still relevant because they have institutional support. Like the Library of Congress is there to recognize some of these artists from old. They are recognized or highlighted in biopics, in movies, in all of that. We don't have that here. We don't have that.
Right.
I don't see us doing that here.
Oh, I'm sure the Creative Arts Agency, when it
but
comes on
the thing.
stream, will do better.
I haven't seen us making biopics of some of our legends, like the Amachide days, or those are some of the ways that we recognize them. Because, like I was saying, because of label strategies these days, we don't really.
Money.
Goody.
No, well, that wasn't the camera,
that's
so nobody
also
understand
true,
what
yeah.
it's money.
That's also
Money.
true. Like economic, there's also economic challenges. but-
You see, I'll say something. A few years ago, when you say Nigeria, what comes to mind? 419.
Yes.
Yep.
Now, when you say
still though?
Nigeria, no.
No, but now when you say
There's
Nigeria,
a
it's different.
huge shift. I remember I took a picture of myself and some Nigeria, the short guys.
Akiem Bobo.
Yeah.
And I posted it. And my friends in Jamaica were like, hey, you really met him? So what I'm saying is the government has to have a deliberate strategy that the creative arts is big on us. Nigeria was the second largest economy in Africa until they rebased their economy, factored in the contribution of creative industries to GDP. Now they're the number one economy. They didn't just do mathematics, but they put money in it. If the government of JDM is really keen on taking Ghana forward, one of the first things they have to do is, first they used to, when they're giving their budgetary allocations, I remember sometime they gave the ministry like 30 million cedis or so to run the whole ministry.
All cities.
Yeah, and that's the time you're giving some ministries like 200 million things. No, make the cultural and creative industry center of your development
Have we
agenda.
proven enough that we can manage our resources if handed over to us? And I know you're taking the conversation to a different dimension.
Okay, so let me-
my team, I beg for 15 minutes, please, or 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
You see, I'm not going to even look at things from what you
Okay,
just said.
okay.
The population of Ghana isn't that many. So, how many? The number of consumers are too small. What we go get?
Oh, but we go do some magic on
You
it.
see,
Unless there are a whole lot of people that are going to come in, or we are going to
But
do a whole lot of
if we
exporting.
boost it, then Ghana doesn't become the you know.
so I'm looking at not just the local market.
Okay, then that's fine.
Because you see, when the last Congress or so, they all wore kente stoles.
Yeah.
Now we have kente inscribed as part of our intangible cultural heritage. The market is global now. It's no more what you call it local. That is where we should be looking at.
Fantastic.
You see, Ghana occupies a very, very unique position as the Mecca of Pan-Africanism. All over the world, black people see Ghana as a beacon of hope. We need to leverage that. And I'm pretty optimistic because the past CEO of GTA, Akwesi Ajiman, he took the game to a certain level, and I'm believing Afua and the team that have come to the leadership of GTA will push it further. And that's where guys like you, young people who have all these ideas, should be brought on board. I believe strongly the way Nkrumah was able to position Ghana as the Black Star of Africa. With this new Black Star experience that they're bringing on board, if they tap into all the mines that are available, they shouldn't do the things of the past where if you are not wearing a certain color, then they think your views are not worthy. Just like the president has done by you see the Constitutional Review Committee, people are, how can you bring people who were insulting you? He says, no, look, it's about Ghana. We want the best brains on board. And I'm trusting Madam Jifa Gomashi to do that, bring the best brains on board so that we can make the cultural and creative industries the center of our development.
Are we ready to consume our art?
Oh,
we're wrapping up.
I think that we do.
Are we ready to consume our
That's
art?
where art appreciation comes in.
We are.
Where you're teaching the children from right from
age.
beginning. The thing with the talking not be me and you are a lifetime alone. No. It should be an investment in the future of our country.
Yes.
Because I mean, when you talk about Ghanaian art to the Gen Z now, even sometimes when you show some of the symbols, the grass symbols, it's a problem.
You have to teach them.
Maybe we lost it along the line.
It's a matter of interest. It's being taught in the schools. It's there. It's their courses. I mean, I don't know if they still do cultural studies, but RME and things.
But you see,
but interest has
if you're teaching
reached a
waned.
point where there's like, to be very honest, like you, I know I'm a victim, but there's
if you're
is there
teaching me about
interest in Ghanaian culture
symbols or the symbols, and you're not teaching me about technology, that's the new way or the new thing.
So one of one of the ways.
Yes.
You know one of the ways. You know video games.
yes
Do you know you can do what you call it puzzles and all those video games?
Yes.
And generate interest, create interest.
Is there? There are people who have developed apps, locally made apps, Ghanaian apps that encourage these things. But again and again, you look at the Ghanaians' interest. The Ghanaians' interest has reached a certain point where.
Let me take you back to Sony, the story of the Sony Walkman.
Yes, I agree.
We have to shape.
I agree. I think there are institutions that are shaping
Do you
these
think
things.
we would have had an iPhone if Steve Jobs didn't say, "Look, let me change the game."
In this room, maybe you have because of work, line of work. But have any of us visited the new mausoleum or the museum?
The
for
renovated
I
one.
have.
You have.
two
And as I said, I use myself as a victim. You understand? During the whole of
Al
December.
Jazeera, forget Al Jazeera. Go to Al Jazeera.
During the whole December, for example, in December, there were a lot of amplifications on concerts and things that brought global attention. But some of these local experiences were hardly mentioned, and you don't find them unless I go on maybe GTA's Instagram page and I see mentions of maybe something happening there. But were there any major activities about creative arts, about our culture that were organized at such places? Just to get youthful interest, because I mean, like I'm saying, Dirty Wave was packed.
You know something? A journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step.
But we've been talking this for years, I know we are digressing, but pardon, I have to bring this team again to go into this area. But we've tried. People have tried. Look, during the December, I know last 3 years, there's a Ghana Eat Ghana, Wear Ghana concert.
Charlie, do you know China?
Yeah, I know it's years.
When we were children, do you know what China was?
I know.
Today, do you know what China is?
Yes, there's been intentionality on the things they've been doing for many, many years. Yes, and I agree.
We shouldn't despair.
But I tend to question sometimes our own patriotism, because it's like it's been diluted so much to the point that, it has affected. And that's how come at certain moments in this very studio, we fought hard amongst ourselves as Pandits, saying that we have to come to agree and accept that our music has been diluted with a lot of foreign, substance.
Where did you sample your music from?
I know that's what I'm saying. It's been diluted. It's not. I feel the artists have done very well in the time since about the past year. In the past year, they've released classic songs that have gained Ghanaian attention again. I mean, now you tune into radio, TV, you see more Ghanaian music. You go to the jams. Yes, at first Nigeria was all over, but and even Diamond Platnumz was making his way from East Africa. Nasty C was coming from SA into our space. And my piano, as for that one day, I don't even want to argue about it. My piano there is. I was in Malawi recently. They are even facing it other than us. So that's agreed. But do we love our culture? are we ready to embrace our culture? It looks like it's just a section of the Ghanaians, a certain small bit that is championing and working very hard.
Let me help you.
To hold it.
Let me help you.
But if you leave
when you
it
go to Nigeria, you
Yes.
see how they dress.
Yes.
Like, what vision do you have of Nigeria when you see Nigerian big men? How
Yes,
are
they are dressed in their
Agbada.
agbada. Yes.
They're walking sticks.
We need to walk the talk. We need to walk the talk.
You see, not to say that we should wear kente to work every day, but kente isn't the only. And you see, that's another thing. We've been.
We are limited.
We are limited even in understanding what Ghanaian culture is.
You know,
former President J.J. Rawlings would always have his batakari on. 247. Kufuor institutionalized the Friday wear thing, which became a whole thing. You go into. I saw a reel on TikTok this dawn, highlighting schools that wear African prints.
My school. We
Yes,
wear
these things.
African
But
culture.
how much of these things have we constantly spoken of, so that a generation of today can hold on to it heavily and
So
say
the
that
state,
this is what makes
look,
me
the
Ghanaian?
state has to do some work, and thank God we finished the review of the Ghana culture policy. We try to bring it in sync with current times. That policy has to be worked. It shouldn't be like the work that was done in 2004 and it was only used in academia and things like that. You have to have a copy. I think one of these days you have to look at the
I
Ghana
won't take the
culture
convo
policy.
to that, but I think I need to set this thing up again, and for us to enter this space. But again and again, I believe that those artists that are coming from that generation, again I mentioned, I feel they did very well in giving us Ghanaian music, in protecting the legacy of what Ghana music,
On
But
Saturday,
unfortunately,
last week Saturday there was a show.
yes,
Reggie
Aha.
and Raffo.
Maybe my mind was
So
working on that.
if people if the media don't put them together, if individuals on the outside the media don't put them together, let's say they won't survive. Their music will die down. It will happen to every single
Generation.
every single person out there. So it's a holistic.
But I'm still
thing.
enjoying Jay-Z. There must be a reason.
You're still enjoying.
Because I was listening to Jay-Z in '97, around Tupac in time. It was died. I'm still listening to. I'm still listening to.
When your total value be $2.3 billion, everybody
But
will.
Jay, don't you think that you are
still listening
also
to
part
Jay-Z.
of the problem? Because you can also now equally say, I'm still listening to Obrafo.
I am
or
still listening to
I'm still
Obrafo.
listening to
No,
Lord
I am
Kenya.
still listening
but
to
the first
Obrafo.
name that came to mind.
No. I'm making reference. I was making. We're talking that.
When did Jay-Z release his first album? 1996. How old are you?
We are still
I was a
listening.
child. I was a baby.
Okay. And when did he release his last album?
Maybe a couple of years ago.
16.
Okay.
17.
So you see, somebody has managed to keep himself going. That's why Bosco said, I said, it's a circle. It's a circle.
an
We had this
ecosystem.
discussion that
Yeah.
we don't have retired artists.
That's I
You
agree.
understand? So Stevie Wonder performs, Jeduble performs. We have this 96-year-old Ghanaian. Every time I forget his name.
Taylor.
Ebo Taylor.
Taylor, yeah.
Still
He's
performs.
still on
He released
tour.
an album
Until
last
he
year.
dies,
Still on tour, yeah.
he'll perform. You understand? So
We'll touch base on this second part of the conversation
problem.
and about this policy you've mentioned. We are hoping that it's placed well as well to help shape where we are. Because if we are to allow ourselves to go the way we are going, if your time leaves, if by age your time leaves, then it looks like there's wealth of knowledge plus what was supposed to have been done. Because if you leave it to us right now, even us crowd, we are shaky. If I leave it to them,
Oh no, Jay, but there are some of us who are actually. There are some of us. I
no. When I say them, I'm making reference.
not you.
Yeah.
Kojo, not you.
No,
Kojo.
but not just
generation.
even
Yeah.
me. But there are some of us within this generation who are actually interested, have a genuine interest in preserving the culture of music, the history of Ghana.
Well, unfortunately, I tell you what, you are just about two, because when we step out tonight, you hear trending music. When I say trending music, your country's music in there is just about 3%, and the rest is everything.
Zero.
It's nothing.
Everything
So if you
else.
don't have a Nia Tague, or you don't have a DJ Black, or you don't have an advisor to come and talk about it and play it, guess what? You're going to get to a point where you will give birth to a child, and then in the next 10 years has no knowledge of even who Black Sheriff is.
Yeah.
We are getting there. And that's
you're right.
that's how I leave it.
Jay, please, before we go.
Shouts to
Yes.
Akle. Akle is tuned in, watching
Yeah.
her Papa live.
I mean, Papa watches her, so whatever is in it's fine.
Jay, before we go, I just want to say happy birthday to my course rep, Winifred Frempoma. Today's her birthday.
Hey, only course
Also
rep.
because she has my mother's name, Winifred. Yeah.
Yo.
And
Course
also,
rep.
shouts happy birthday to the GOAT, Cristiano Ronaldo.
I will pull you back in for us to look at DJ's catalog conversations. I'll tell you off air. But anyway, on that note, thank you so very much. Your time is up.
All right.
We're back at the same time tomorrow here on Culture Daily, and we out.
Culture Daily was brought to you by Telecel.